This week, after being plagued with technical difficulties all night long, the Walking Recap, Young Justice, comes to Netflix for a third season, and the first trailer for the Ghost in the Shell live-action movie looks awesome. This is Modern Retro.
Oh, well, that's not how I want to start it either.
No. I was like, what can I do that'll piss Cube off? I was like,
welcome one and all back to Modern Retro, episode 12. Episode 12. Yay! How's everybody doing? That was Roy who started the podcast off with a slight turtle orgasm, and
all I can think of is, wow.
So
we were watching this video a minute ago where it was a turtle having sex, tortoise having sex or something like that. That was
it even having sex, or that was just sitting
I don't know, man. Every video. What the fuck is going on? Whatever link, Aaron, that you sent him earlier completely roasted his computer.
It really did. Like, was there a virus in that fucking thing? The last thing I saw that you sent was Neil Gaiman and Sci-Fi teaming up to make new series or something like that. And ever since then, my fucking laptop is just it's buggy as fuck.
It's revving up. It's going.
Yeah, it's overheating. It's laggy. I closed that site down, and then I opened it again, and it did the same fucking thing. It's gone now. It's not even up, and now everything's still kind of wonky. So I mean, if this cuts off in the middle, that's it. I'm just flipping the fucking table over.
Not this way. I'm on the other side, bastard.
Oh, and so I think before it started fucking up, I only introduced
the fucking Nerdist. So shut
Roy,
up. That
the
wasn't
turtle
some
sex
strange
expert.
fucking porno site giving you worms, giving you the internet herpes.
I don't know. It's the fucking Russians. Anyways, welcome to Modern Retro.
Hi.
I'm Cuba. On the other end of the internet is Aaron.
I can only start this podcast the way I've been doing it for the last 5 minutes. Hi.
And as always, here in studio is Roy. That's me.
That's him.
Wow.
Yep. With the turtle sex.
Yay, turtle sex.
Oh, mother.
What? I said turtle sex, not poo sex.
There's our German listeners back.
I was going to say, Unst.
German
Unst.
listener. I looked.
Poo.
We only got one download from Berlin, Germany, and it was only for one episode, which was a me and Roy episode, Pew Pew Pew, Willie's Dead. And I never listened again after that.
Pew, pew, pew. Hold on.
Not for me.
Pew, 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 Willie's dead. What the hell did we talk about?
Killing Free Willy.
Oh, okay, that works.
Ultimate dark endings to movies.
Okay, I was trying to think, man, because I don't listen to what we record.
I know.
I don't have to because I don't have to edit it or anything like that. I'm like,
He doesn't have to either, but he listens religiously every Wednesday.
I listen to famous podcasts.
This is a famous podcast. We're
For
moving
us,
up in the world. God damn it.
We'll get there.
Somewhere. I don't know.
Over the
Why, does it show
rainbow.
where I'm downloading from?
I just assume you're one of like the 6 in Rhode Island.
There's like 6 people in Rhode Island.
Yeah, pretty much. So we have the whole states listening.
Going back to an
us.
earlier podcast, that's a deep podcast. Deep podcast cut there, throwing rocks at Rhode Island.
You're getting drunk off your shitty beer.
Rhode
So
Island
you
is
drank a good amount of that.
It's
Rhode
fucking,
Island's
it's
a
called, it's a beer
small
called.
state.
It's a beer called Sun Juice. You could just drink it like water.
It tastes like sun piss.
It's actually not bad now that I've drank half of it.
It's usually how it goes.
I'm gonna get this out of the way while I can. I just told Cuba about Aaron about this meme. I think I sent it to you already. It says it's a man and a little girl talking at the dinner table. It says, "Kid, Dad, tell me all about 2016." And the dad says, "Okay, hold on." Pounds 3 shots of tequila, and then the dad says, "Well, it all started with this fucking gorilla." You know, Harambe. So I was like, holy shit, that really is. And then somebody commented on I'm not going to use names, but somebody commented, a woman saying, "Not nice." And I was like, I knew where she was going with this. So I put, what's not nice? Like, I knew she was gonna. And she said gorilla, and I said Harambe, the gorilla that was shot in Ohio to save that kid who fell in the cage. And she said, "Oh, okay. Wasn't sure that there were, what the fuck?
Racial
Sorry.
overtones.
Yeah, she's like, okay, LOL. Wasn't sure where that was going, per other references in here. Forgot about the gorilla.
How many other quasi-racist comments do you have on your Facebook feed?
None. I go specifically.
I can't remember if I've unfollowed him in the past.
Yeah. Are you on the blocked list?
No, I specifically go out of my way to not post stupid shit. I send it to you guys.
Yeah, well, stuff on there that make people think.
This is just
I
one of
got a
those.
question.
No, this is one of just those very sensitive people that you say anything and then. It's, one of those like, I'm white, so I have to conform to extreme white privilege people.
Oh, I'm white and I have to get offended for
For,
brown people because they can't seem to get offended for themselves.
Exactly. Oh, sillies.
Yeah. Well,
Silly little.
the thing is, Rhode Island, if we have like 6 people in Rhode Island's a pretty small state. I should probably, what should I say? I've run into like 17 people that I've worked from in other places, like since I've been here. Everyone is just intermingling. They're all Eskimo brothers in the workplace, graphic design.
Hey, me and Cuba are Eskimo brothers.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give you a fist because I put my. I can't even tap this with that.
Tap it.
That's disrespectful to your beer.
So this week we're gonna go. We're getting back on track, back on to just the way we normally structure this show, which is no structure whatsoever, but lighthearted, good times, a good geek romp. Because last week's part 1
It was heavy.
There was some heavy shit. It was entertaining, but there was some heavy shit. And then part 2. Man, we
tried to shed it, but we couldn't.
Yeah, we rode that second wave, but just like.
You know what it felt like? It felt like when you really have to shit, so you stop someplace and you get it out and you think you're okay, but then you're on the highway and you hit like 16 miles in between stops and you go, oh, fuck, I get it all out. Yeah. Buddy, you got to stop typing. We can hear you.
I know, dude. That's like fucking crazy.
And then she just... and.
That's not going onto the
Did
microphone,
this thing
though.
fucking stop again? We're good.
We can hear it when you type, buddy. It sounds like this. It sounds like this.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, you are hearing me now through my computer, so which means you can hear all my finger typing. But it's not going to be in the recording. It's just you having to hear my typing. So fucking deal with it.
Drops the mic. All right. So what do we have on the agenda today, gents?
There's plenty of things that we didn't even talk about because of last week's sadness. Why don't you find
The dark times.
The dark times are just beginning, my friend. Why don't you, good fellows, start us off with a walking recap?
You want to jump right into that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, we throw that in at the end, but we could do whatever.
Well, I mean, we had a fantastic open, like beautiful, perfect open, and it fucked up. It just totally fucked up. And then the fucked up of our fuck up opening fucked up. And then our third attempt at a fucked up opening got fucked up.
And then the fourth try.
So I hope this syncs up.
Then the fourth try just wasn't.
Yes,
now we're here. Hi.
See, now I don't even know if it's recording properly because he just keeps going, hi, and not saying anything else.
All right.
Yeah, all right. So, walking recap. We are recapping season 7 of The Walking Dead, episode 4.
Episode 4. I didn't get a chance to look up. I actually didn't read too much about it. Usually I watch it, and then the next day, on Monday, I try to, usually when I'm on the toilet and at work, burning 15 or 20 minutes.
Only 15 or 20 minutes?
Well, I try to do it twice a day, so it's not too egregious. I split it up.
Okay.
So yeah. So I'm not sure of the episode name, but what I usually do is I read about it after like a recap, refresh my memory, this and that. Aaron, do you know what the name of this episode was? Okay. Well, first off,
Episode 4.
I'll probably let Aaron start explaining this episode, but first off, the only thing I want to say is that even though this is a slow episode, just to preface this, it feels like it's just tightening and tightening and tightening, and it's ratcheting up the tension. You know,
I have to say,
it's a slow episode again.
I was going to say, every single one of these, with the exception of the season premiere, you guys have said is a slow episode.
But it's not bad.
Well, no, slow.
Which-
We have this thing in our head where slow episode means bad episode.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's good storytelling,
Yeah.
it's not like with
because
Game of
it-
Thrones. You'll go 7 to 8 episodes with nothing, like nothing happening. Shit's happening, but it's slow. Then you'll get that epic battle in episode 9, and then episode 10 is set up for the next season.
Yeah.
Like that's their pattern. And early on in our last podcast, I'd always say that the slowest episode of Game of Thrones is better than the most exciting episode of The Walking Dead, in my opinion. So,
All right. So, Aaron, do you want me to jump into the explainer, or do you want to?
I mean, I can only really sum it up as this is Negan's first trip to the what do you call it?
Alexandria. Yeah, the Alexandria free
Alexandria.
zone. All right. So, or safe zone rather. All right. So Negan comes early because
this episode is called Service.
service. Thank you. All right. So Negan comes and knocking, which I love this scene. It shows it's backlit from like this gate that has like some sort of cloth over it or something like that, so you can't see through it, and you just see his shadow, and he's whistling, and he comes up and he knocks on with Lucille the bat. He knocks on the fence and he says, little pig, let me in." And I love this guy. At first, even by the second time I saw him, I really wasn't. I was like, fuck, I'm not convinced of this guy. This episode really cinched this actor for me as Negan. Wish he was a little bit wider in the shoulders, a little bit bigger.
Yeah, because comic Negan he's like a big dude, like
Yeah.
wide, not
Yeah.
fat wide, but just like you said, big shoulders wide,
Kind of like a...
like a football player.
Yeah, I think they should have given him shoulder pads for sure because, like, some of the issues I have with this Negan, while he is good, like, has to do with his
Yeah, he's
stature
not...
and shit.
I feel like he should be more physically imposing, and that's why he gets away with having a bat and just a bat. It's like, fuck, that's all he needs.
Well, is he a tall dude?
He's a little bit taller than Rick, but than Andrew Lincoln. But when you put him side by side, it's not like a huge comparison like I would like.
So they should have put him in like heels or some camera tricks like they did with the hobbits and the dwarfs in Lord
well,
of the Rings.
not that bad, but yeah, maybe like a half-inch lift in his shoe or something like that, and definitely something to widen him a little bit. Not so much like the Kingpin, like that wide, but just his shoulders. So anyway, he comes a knocking, and basically Rick, nobody else knows who he is. Rick is, I think, explained, but nobody else, like Spencer, for instance. You don't know who Spencer is, I don't think.
No.
All right, never mind. I'll keep it brief and I'll keep it somewhat succinct. Another character opens and is like, "Who the hell are you?" And he's like, "Oh, come on, I know I made a hell of an impression. You know who the fuck I am." And Rick comes and lets him in, and basically Negan's whole crew comes in, takes half of what they want. Carl puts up like a little bit of like a wise-ass defense, threatens to shoot one of them, this and that. There's some tension because they take all the guns, because when Carl does his thing, he points, someone who's taking medicine, he points a gun at him and he doesn't shoot him, but a warning shot. And Negan at that point says, "Look, I was going to let you keep your gun so you can help provide for me, but obviously I can't let you do that after this little emotional outburst." So kind of puts the onus on Rick and Carl because like Carl fucked them over because now Negan took all the guns.
Yeah.
Then he was going to kill someone because who was keeping track of all the guns, like the inventory, because there was 2 guns that were on the list that they didn't collect. A certain character who's kind of like a selfish prick hid them, so he's been like squirreling supplies away and stuff like that. And also, there's a whole bunch of other little things that have been happening that honestly, without getting into too much detail and turning this into like a fucking 45-minute thing, I can't really get to. But really good. Like, the really good fucking episode. Things are coming together. You can see it's just ratcheting up on the tension. And that's where I say, I have 2 things to say about this episode. One, like I said, ratcheting up. You could tell that this show is made to binge watch. It really is, because all this tension makes way more sense if you watch it in one go. I can see why people are complaining that it's slow, and I have read some complaints, because, there's not that much going on right now. It feels in certain ways.
No, like you said, it's building up.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing that, and it sounds, again, I have not seen, I'm a season behind, but it sounds like The Walking Dead is finally starting to, like, tell the audience to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because I think that's part of the my biggest problem with the show is that it's been the audience driving the show, and not the other way around. Because people like for the longest time, the show definitely caters like the what you call it
the Walkers,
the Talking Dead, the zombie kill of the week. It felt like it was getting to the point where they're just doing that. Like every episode has to have a gruesome, gross kill or something like that.
They still have that, but
I'm not saying it's not necessary. I mean, not saying don't do it.
I know what you're saying. The Walkers aren't the story.
Right.
The Walkers are the background, and for a long time, the Walkers were too much of the story. I saw a comic that was made perfect sense where it said first season and it had Rick and then a rustle in the bushes and then someone popped out and it said, oh, thank God, it's just a human. And then compared to that first season, Russell, oh God, it's a walker. And then it was flipped for this season where he was like, oh God, no, it's a human. Yeah. And that's exactly what it is, because man, that's what it all is in The Walking Dead. Yeah. Man is way worse than the walkers.
Yeah, for so long in the comics, I mean, humans have been the biggest threat since, like you said, the very beginning, it was, it was like, it's like, it's a human because nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And then like the zombies were sort of a threat around, I'd say, the time they were on the farm. That was like, I would say, almost the biggest threat comic book wise.
Yeah.
And then after that point in the comics, it's just been human after human after human who's the threat. It's like the zombies they're just, and again, background. Speaking from the comics, the zombies have just been an annoyance in the background compared to human threats.
Which, if you do, the thing I do like about that's absolutely true, but if you ignore them for too long, they fuck your shit up.
Right.
Like that's the cool thing. Because
build on the
exactly. Well,
shit.
They kind of ignore them like it's just an everyday part of life. But just like anything else, if you it's a minor annoyance, but if you put it off for too long and don't deal with it, you procrastinate, eventually it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. And that obviously happens. I believe it's in Alexandria in the comic it happens when they break through.
The herd and everything.
The herd breaks through. It's cool because they do deal with the herd in the show in the past season.
Do they?
Yeah. There's a gigantic herd and they like redirect them in a way. It's cool the way they do it, and I don't want to spoil it for you. But
we need to sit down, Liz and I, and watch season 6. But again,
it's worth it, man. I'm
not saying we're not going to. It's just
you have a good binge-worthy like.
Yeah, we don't have time.
Since you haven't seen that,
we don't have time to binge.
When it starts to get bingy,
2 episodes of anything that's an hour long is the
asleep,
best.
Yeah.
No, not asleep. It's just like that's what we can do because she has to go to 7:30 to 8:30 in that window. The baby wants to go to sleep, and then like she has to go to sleep with the freaking baby, even though she's not tired. So I mean, a lot of like we've been making our way through Game of Thrones, and we'll watch it on her phone, but do that thing where you can beam it to the TV screen. Mm-hmm. So we'll watch one episode, on the TV from her phone, and then it's like, oh, she's got to go to bed now. She's like, I'm gonna leave my phone down here so it can beam to the TV, and I'm gonna watch it on my tablet upstairs. And it's like that's how we're like binging shows together now. That's cool. That's how we watch Luke Cage.
So you're watching it together in the same house, using the same device in a way,
yeah,
but not in the same room.
Not in the same room.
Hey man, that's the Modern Family.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's like with Luke Cage, it's like, did you? She's like, all right, watch one more episode. I'll watch it upstairs, and I'm like, oh, this is fucking awesome. And then the next day, I'm like, oh, that part when he fucking did this, and that was so cool. She goes, I fell asleep. And I'm like, fucking shit, motherfucker.
How come females never know when they're about to fall asleep to, like, I don't know, tell you to turn off the show? 'Cause Courtney does that shit all the time where, like, we'll be watching a show and she'll be like, I'll look over and she'll go, what are you looking at me for? I was like, to make sure you're asleep. And she goes, of course I'm awake. What the hell? I'm watching the show. And then I'm like, all right. And as soon as my back hits the pillow again, she's out.
Nighttime shows and movies instantly make any women like narcoleptic. It is. I don't know why.
Oh my god, I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. You don't all this shit about roofing chicks and this and that. Just throw in a movie.
Oh Jesus!
Come on, man.
That's what that Netflix and chill is all about. Science.
I think they might call this episode "Movie Roofies."
Yeah, we're not gonna hear anything about that
boy.
one. So all right. So that's my. Go ahead, buddy.
back back to the episode 4. Like, this is definitely that actor who plays Negan, like, his time to shine. I think Courtney even looked over to me and goes, "Is he talking throughout this entire episode?" Because that's all she heard was his voice. And I was like, yeah, it's a little Negan heavy for sure. But
you almost kind of think that you should hold back a little bit. Like, why are you using? It's episode 4. Why are you showing so much of him? Why is he so involved? But he's such a good actor that it works.
How many in universe? How many days after he breaks Rick is this?
3.
Okay.
So, like, everybody else, was there is like Eugene, for instance, who had a really good character building episode at the end of the last season when they had that big cliffhanger. Like, he stepped up. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I can contribute completely to the group. I'm over being a pussy and this and that. And then that's what pisses me off, because, like, after everything he went through and saw Abraham and Glenn get, killed and whatnot, he went back to being a pussy. Like, it actually, Rosita sees him. She says, "Hey, open the gate. We're leaving." And he's working on a radio or something for them, or he calls it like a portable audio device. And he's like, "I'm just trying to do my part because they want it and this and that, and I'm going to make it for them because it's what they want." And, I'm like, dude, come on. Like, where were your balls?
Dude,
Get your balls
you
back.
have to admit that will neuter. I mean, it neutered Rick.
I know.
So it's
well, no, because you know what? This is a good point. Oh, another big reveal. You sure you're not going to worry about being too spoiler heavy?
Nope.
For you, okay. You could tell Rick wants to fight. There's parts where, like, Negan purposely turns his back on him. He makes like in the comic, he makes Rick hold Lucille. He makes him hold it through his whole trip through Alexandria. And he says things, and he deliberately turns his back on him and insults him. And you can see Rick's, like, fist tightening around Lucille several times. And, like, you see his eyes, and he's staring at the back of Negan. And if he had, he'd be a smoking hole in the fucking floor. If he could kill things. If kills could, stairs could kill. Okay? He'd be a smoking pile of shit. And he doesn't do it. But he doesn't do it because he's worried about himself. It's because he's worried about everybody else. He knows that this is not a battle he can win right now. And he even confides in Michonne. When Michonne confronts him, like, why don't we fight? Why did we give away our guns? He's like, this is how we're going to survive. We can't beat him right now. We can't beat him. They have the numbers. And then he actually reveals that he knows. He admits to Michonne, which is really cool because I loved hearing these words out of him. He said, when Coral and Lori... Coral. Where's Coral?
Your eyes, like, go cross when you do that.
Well, that's what he would do. Lori would be like, Coral? Where's Coral? And he'd be like, Coral, where's my boy? On the farm? Come on, you don't remember that?
Stay in the house, Coral!
Get back in the house. Rick! So he actually mentions Shane to Michonne, which is something that we haven't heard in 4 seasons. Through a bunch, you know what I mean? I don't think he said the words. So he says to Michonne, he says, when I had a partner, his name was Shane. I had a wife named Lori, and they thought I was dead, so they got together, and he helped them survive and get away. And I knew they were together because they thought I was dead. And he was like, and I know that Judith isn't mine. I know that this baby, because in the comic, in the comic, Judith and Laurie both die.
Yeah.
But in the show, Judith lives. I don't know if you've gotten that far.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for it.
Well, I don't know where you are. So he admits that he knows that Laurie didn't have his baby, but he also says that he needs to live for her. Like, he's devoted, even though he says that's my daughter and I love her, but I know she's not my genetic child.
He admits that in the comic, I think, to Andrea, though.
I can't remember, to be honest. It's been so long since I've read it. But he reveals that to Michonne, and he says, like, this is how we survive. I'm doing all this for her. I've done all these things and put myself in danger so Judith can live, and this is no different. Except I'm doing it for a widespread amount of people. And it was a touching moment. And Michonne he's like, please, just do what I'm asking, doing what I'm telling you. And Michonne says, I'll try. We can live this way. That's fine. She tries. She goes for a walk after the whole deal. And the Saviors when they went into Alexandria, they took furniture, they took all their mattresses, they took a bunch of shit. You know what I mean? And then she sees smoke in the distance. So she goes for a walk, and she finds a burning pile of mattresses, of furniture, of shit. So she realizes at this point that she can't live that way because the Saviors didn't take their stuff for them. They just didn't want anybody from Alexandria to have it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of people. They want them to be broken. And she's not going to stand for it. So I think that was the last thing you see in the episode, and I think that soon you're probably going to have the failed assassination attempt on Negan that happens in the comic.
Right, and that's what leads to like the war.
Negan declares all-out war, and you have the kingdom because nobody in Alexandria or the Hilltop knows about the kingdom yet. We've seen the kingdom, and the Hilltop and Alexandria know about each other, but the kingdom is still kind of an unknown out there. You know what I mean? So. You can see where everything's kind of converging.
Yeah.
Another cool point is what the hell is that noise? It's not. Oh, that's your computer. Sounds like a fucking airplane. Jesus. No, I think it's Cuba's.
No, it's
Mine?
not mine. I don't know.
All right. Anyway, sorry.
Roy.
Dude, I hear
Rip. It's like I wish he was sitting on this side so the camera could pick him up because he looks like you look like some sort of like junkyard hound when you do that because like your neck goes up, your chin goes out, your eyes go cross.
That's because he wags his head around when Shane would say that. This episode for some reason really made me miss Shane. I don't know why, because I thought he was gonna say Shane was right. Because in a way, Shane was right. Shane would have dealt completely different with both the governor and I don't think any of these things happened if Shane was in charge. I'm not saying everybody makes it through happy hunky dory. Probably still loses a bunch of people, but he was so militaristic and iron fisted that as soon as he saw the governor, he probably would just be like, "Hey, governor!" Bow! And would have popped him in the head. With Negan, he just would have screamed Negan and shot him.
That's definitely one thing I've been thinking too, especially with Negan. Like Shane was so imposing stature-wise that if he was still in this group, shit wouldn't have went down like that.
He would have been a Negan.
Hell, if Rick was still the same way, there's a part where one of his cronies, one of his guys, say, "Hey Negan, we got something here," and he hands him a video camera. And the leader of Alexandria is named Deanna. It's the roles are flipped. It's a woman in charge.
Yeah, in the comic it was a dude.
It was a man. So it's a woman, and she records everybody as interviews them on camera as everyone.
Yep.
So you saw that?
Yeah.
So you remember what he looked like with the huge beard, and he talks. He was like, "Out there, we kill people. You gotta kill people to survive," and all that shit. And Negan is watching this interview, and he looks at it and he goes, "Man, I would not have fucked with that guy." Well, he doesn't say fuck with. I would not have screwed with that guy. He says, "But Rick, that's not you anymore, is it?" And he turns it and he says, he points the camera at him, records him. He says, "But that's not you anymore, is it?" He says, "No." So
I like that because it's true. He did get
he gentrified.
He got savage.
He was at one
absolutely
point savage.
Yeah, when there's hashtag Rictatorship.
But he still had pride. Because even though, do you remember that part where they were on the run after the prison and they're searching the house? One of my favorite intros of any episode.
Oh yeah, like a SWAT team.
Yeah, they go through the SWAT team.
No, that was not even before the prison, wasn't it?
No, that was after they got chased out of the. I believe maybe
no,
you might be right.
I think it was before the prison.
You may be right
because it was it was like the season after the farm, after their first winter on the road.
Yeah, it was beginning of season 3. It was episode 1, season 3.
They clear this house. They come through with homemade silencers, pop, 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 doing the shit, and then they gather whatever supplies it was, and there's only dog food, and somebody opens a can of dog food, and Rick just slaps it out of their hand. He's basically non-verbally saying, "No, we do not. My people do not eat dog food."
Right?
Coral.
Put that dog food away, Coral.
Probably has more minerals than anything you would have found otherwise, isn't it?
I know, it's got real chicken.
Beaks and feet don't count, man.
That came from a real chicken.
Yeah, also in this episode, like I said, you really get to analyze the dude who plays Negan's performance. And because he doesn't have the bite of swearing behind him, he has to carry all that dialogue and all those joking comments in a way that comes across. And by the end of the episode, I was a little fatigued by it because every time the camera showed him, he wasn't in a imposing stance. He was basically standing like Urkel, like dick humping everything. He was like his dick was just humping the air in all directions whenever he was talking to someone.
That's just like a male gesture. That's what we do. This is mine. This is mine. This is mine.
Just rub your junk on it. You own it.
I know. I'm more
do get
picturing
what
like
you're
a Jason Statham kind of stance. I was just like, fucking looks like he's gonna kick your ass, even though he's joking around with you.
Yeah, I do get what you're saying, but if you rewatch it, there are a few instances where, like in the very beginning, when Spencer opens up and he says, "Who are you?" and he like leans in through the fence and he just says, "Oh, you've got to be kidding me! I know I made a hell of an impression." He says it imposingly. Mm-hmm. He also talks to Carl like after that, and he says like, "I can understand threatening Davy here, but me, that ain't gonna fly." And he makes Carl back down. He has a gun pointed at him, and just with words and looks, he makes Carl back down, which is pretty hardcore. Because in this point, Carl's like the only one who's willing to stand up.
Yeah, Carl's a little Rambo.
Yeah, like everybody else is kind of like beaten down, understandably. But Carl was so badass even in the episode after he watched two of his friends and part of his group get their heads beat in. He was still, fuck you. Like, he made him stand. He's like...
youth.
Yeah, like, he's just full of bravado and fucking hormones, and he just doesn't give a shit. So there was
he's just full of whiskey and cum.
Ooh. Get out the white demons! That's what I call it when I beat off. I get out the white demons.
Oh, that is the episode name.
Like, oh, God, it's what it is, man. They're just demons brewing up in your ball sack, and they make you angry. They do! It's testosterone. You gotta get it out. Ooh, the white ghosts.
Welcome back to the podcast, Roy.
After Cuba edits that out. So there's two more quick points I want to make. One, I'm starting to totally agree with Aaron about the whole swearing thing. And not because Negan needs to swear, but because there's that
Wait, can I guess? Can I guess what thing it was?
The iconic line in the end there?
Yeah, absolutely. Because after that line hit, I was like, oh, man. Like, you just reminded me of all the stuff you could have been saying if you weren't tethered to TV.
It's the part where he makes Rick his bitch and takes all the stuff from Alexandria, and he says, he says, "You looking at me. What, do you want me to leave?" And Rick says, "I think that would be best." And he says, "And all you have to do is just say those two little magic words." And Rick says, "Thank you." And he has to swallow his pride and say thank you to him for not taking everything, for not killing anybody. So Negan says, "All right, we're gone." And then he goes to walk by, and he says, "Oh, how could I be so careless? Hold on, let me take Lucille back from you. You wouldn't want to keep her since after what you did to your two friends." Takes Lucille, gets in real close and says, "And in case you miss throat, and you thinks away." It does. It makes you say, what the fuck, standards and practices? How can you not say fuck?
Well, that's like their one shit season.
I think they've said shit way more times than
has that changed? Is it one shit a season, or is it like you can say shit after 10 o'clock?
Entire episode. You gave it to me at the end.
The Shield said cum dumpster.
I know. I remember when I watched that episode. I'm like, whoa. They just roid their Shield just roid. Just
hey, white demons. Got to get them out. I don't know, man. I totally think that he doesn't need to say fuck. He gets away without saying fuck, fuckity, fuck, fuck, fuck. He gets away with it because he's on the strength of the writing and the acting. But there's no excuse. That's the problem. You're withholding part of the character that we know and like and love for no reason because it's a 4-letter word.
Really?
I don't think we are. Oh God!
For now.
We're up.
For now.
We are back, and look how smooth that line is going. I haven't seen it go that smooth. Oh, it's going all the way.
Well, we'll see. All right, do we wanna actually continue this now? I mean, it's almost 9 o'clock.
Man, Negan says he's gonna slip his dick down Rick's throat, and it's a great moment. And I don't know why you can't say fuck on AMC. It's at 9 o'clock. They say dick, they say pussy, they say shit, they say bitch. They say everything. Just give Negan the word fuck.
That moment sold me on buying the DVD box set if it is in fact true that they will have alternate lines with him.
Yes. See, it really pisses me off because we were really into it on that conversation, and
I know,
then all
I know.
these you look so fed up.
I'm fucking pissed. I'm fucking pissed. I don't even want to continue this right now.
Dude, then let's just not. We'll pick it up another day.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know.
You want me to hold you? Want me to hold you while it's cold outside?
It's cold outside, baby. It's cold outside. Let's come snuggle.
Let's put on a movie.
Come snuggle with the wizard sleep.
Netflix.
If we put on a movie, maybe you'll pass out and I can let out the white demons.
Netflix and Roy.
Netflix and wizards.
No, you don't want that. You don't want Netflix and
You're
Roy.
a wizard, Harry.
I don't want a Netflix and Roy.
It's almost like a Bill Cosby.
Ooh.
Oh, come on, man. I ain't that bad.
I'm just picturing the GIF with the sausage.
It's not a sausage, it's a hot
With
dog.
a fucking hot dog. Anyways, that was the walking recap. It got all sorts of fucked up. I don't know how much longer this episode is going to keep going because we've stopped and restarted 6 times.
Yeah, I don't know how many times you can say dick down the throat.
I said the words because we had to cut it and this and that and the computer's freaking. But I've literally said the line of Negan's. I just slipped my dick down your throat and you thanked me for it, which is a line I've used in my personal life, mind you. But I've never said it on the podcast, and I think I've said it 5 or 6 times, legitimately.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to draw Roy as Negan now. I mean...
Yes! Yes! Oh, my dream is true. So anyway, and one other thing since we're continuing, one other thing that was really cool that I really did, to take it on a serious note about this episode, was the fact that something really subtle happened, and not a lot of people picked up on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's one part in the in the beginning shot where I think Michonne walks across the kitchen of her and Rick's house, and in the background, and it's noticeable, but it's not something that they it focuses on. She just walks by it and it's in the frame, and it says American Morse code, and it has all the little dots and dashes. When Negan brings his crew, he brings Daryl to kind of rub it in Rick's face. You know, he just says, "Oh, you can't talk to him. He's just the help." Rick tries to speak to him, he gets shot down. When you see Daryl's blinking odd. But the first time I watched it in the beginning of the episode, it just looks like he's just kind of got out of the truck. Maybe he was in a dark cell because he was kept in a dark cell from the episode labeled cell. And he just kind of blinking kind of erratically, he's just kind of like he's afraid of everything, you know, like a beaten dog kind of.
So he's like Reek?
Sort of, yes, but he's blinking erratically, and it makes sense. I didn't think twice about it. I don't think anybody else did. And then... I didn't think of it until later on in the episode when they're walking around. Rick starts kind of tapping on the bat, and I didn't even pick up on that until literally the end of the episode. It just kind of hit me, and I was like, oh shit, wait a minute, the fucking Morse code, maybe they're sending messages back and forth, and that's a big fan theory going on right now, which...
I saw that on Facebook.
Which, honestly, if this is true, if it isn't, shame. Shame. Because that's a huge ball that was dropped, you know? But if it is true, fucking kudos on the subtlety there, because not a lot of people picked up on it.
Oh, maybe it is. You said, they sent all the shitty writers to Fear the Walking Dead, so all the good writers are left you know what, let's have them do Morse code and just not make it obvious. Which
is funny, because, Aaron, you don't watch it on TV, you watch it, you... procure it by other means, right?
I DVR it.
Okay. There you go. No, I commandeer, nautical term. So,
NSA.
So, there's this thing, they have Walking Dead, The Walking Dead, rather, Fear the Walking Dead, and then they have these little 2 minute-long segments called Fear the Walking Dead, The Passage, which I don't know if it'll eventually will tie into Fear the Walking Dead, but it's my favorite thing besides The Walking Dead. It's these little things where just this woman in this area, obviously in some sort of desert military installation place, and she's being followed by somebody with a knife, and then she, you don't know what's going on, but they give it to you in webisodes that are only a minute or 2 long during the commercials, and it's perfect. It's hard. I can't explain to you what's going on because I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Well, because they've done webisodes before, and it was in the first season, the zombie woman, the bike
Yeah.
that Rick takes and stuff like that.
This is-
I like those. I thought those were cool.
Well, yeah, they
But,
give you a humanizing element
right.
to the show,
So
especially in those
are
first
they
couple.
doing that again? Is
I
that
don't,
what these are?
I don't know. I haven't really. I just seen it when I watch, and it's pretty cool. They show one per episode. One. I call it a webisode because I don't know another word for it. But
No, I think that's what they are.
it's like a little snippet, like a minute and a half long, and they show one each week.
Because
And-
that's what Marvel was doing, leading up to like Avengers. They're like a bunch of little webisodes with Agent Coulson and shit like that.
Yeah, it's cool. I like it. So yeah, it's great. In closing, great episode. My only complaint, really, and it's not even a complaint. It's more of just a minor grievance. The word "fuck." Throw the word "fuck" in there. Just do it. Just man up.
I don't think they can on cable, no matter what. But
Then standards and practices. I mean, it's just it's stupid.
it is. It really is. It makes no sense. But
If you can watch somebody die in a most gruesome way while his pregnant wife watches die while dying herself, there you go. Why the fuck can't you say fuck? So
the season is progressing well.
yes, as I said before, you'll get more out of it when you binge watch it, because you'll have the instant gratification of realizing it's just ratcheting up the tension. There's something to be said about us as wanting the instant gratification of waiting an entire week, and you think of it as like Sunday, Walking Dead's on. I go to work tomorrow. This is the exclamation point on my weekend. I want something crazy to happen.
Something I can talk to coworkers about.
You want something to happen, so it kind of like makes the wait worth it.
Final thoughts, Aaron?
My only
But you
issue-
don't.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry,
go
buddy. I wasn't quite. Cuba stole my wind there.
Oops.
But it's ratcheting up, and it's perfect. It's going perfectly. Go ahead, Aaron. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay so far, but this is the first time that I actually was like, your performance needs a little bit more depth in my eyes, because you're doing the Steve Urkel, and it's throwing me off here. Like, I can't take you seriously as a imposing force unless he actually does some like actual range of emotion and not just the goofball kind of thing going on.
Well, he did have the range of emotion, though.
Not as
I mean, he
not as
even told
intense as I'd
Denise.
like it be.
Well, he told there was at least 3 instances. There was 4 instances. The very beginning, when he talked to Spencer, the moment with Carl where he made Carl back down with just basically a look and mean words. Then when he told, is it Olivia? He did have a really great line, but I can't remember her name. The heavyset chick who takes care of the food and the guns, the inventory, when he gets in her face and say, "This was your job, these guns are missing," and I'm basically, he's like, I'll kill men all the day long, and I don't like to kill women, but I will," and it gets in her face and it gets real dark for a minute. But and then at the end, obviously, when he has his slip the dick line, and then he takes off. But so he had, I thought he had 4 moments where he showed that his range, but I can see why you wouldn't think so. He was kind of like a schoolyard bully, more like,
exactly.
But he did have one great one-liner where it was just him and Rick and everyone else like walked off into the armory, and he looked and he said, "Man, I can't be the only one to think, hey, why'd you put the fat chick in charge of all the food?" And like it was funny in context, But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it was still a good episode. Like I said, if it was binged, I'd probably enjoy it more. But yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Maybe one day.
Yeah, well, in a year.
Yeah.
So
that's when I'll see it.
What else did you want to move on to, buddy?
How about this? This was news that dropped last week, but Donald Trump fucked it up for us.
Oh, what?
Young Justice, Season 3, coming to Netflix. Roy just made a mess of my table.
Sounded like it.
Jeans. I got my jeans in my jeans.
No, I
released
don't
my
watch
jeans.
Young Justice. What is so great about Young Justice?
Have you watched it? You never watched it at all?
Nope.
I wish I could reach through the lines and slap this man.
Yeah, no, I want to reach through and strangle him as well, because it's like...
I like it more than any other Warner Brothers DC cartoon.
Young Justice is the best consistent animated series on DC characters since the DC animated universe that Bruce Timm gave us, starting with Batman the animated series, and then Superman, and then Justice League, and Batman Beyond. This is like that, but new and even more serious, and it's awesome because. All right, so real quick, it's a DC show. It was on Cartoon Network.
Oh,
I think.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't remember. Might have been Cartoon Network. It only got 2 seasons, but it focuses on the sidekicks of the Justice League. So it's not about the Justice League, it's about the sidekicks. And it's fucking intense. Like, at first you're like, what? Like, Aqualad, Robin, Miss Martian.
Kid
it's like
Flash.
Kid Flash. No one likes these fucking guys. It's like, oh, wow. No, it's like the show takes them from sidekicks. Like, the Justice League is like, you're not old enough and cool enough to be in the Justice League yet. So you're going to be the minor league. And then Batman goes, but really, you're going to actually be our, like, stealth strike team.
Yeah, they're like they're like the Justice League Special Ops Force. It's kind of strange because, like you said, Batman saw what he had.
Yeah, Batman
like,
is like in charge of them.
He was like, this is a resource. Why don't we use this?
Absolutely. And it's fucking cool. Like, so the first season it's got its storyline, and it's dark. It's way darker than you would ever. If you remember that really shitty cartoon Teen Titans Go, or the Teen Titans that was on Cartoon Network, where it was like
the anime looking one.
It was like
They were like chibi
it was
style.
like American anime where like the eyes would get big and they'd be like, oh, crazy faces. I hated that show.
That only works in
in real anime.
No, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah, even then, it takes me out when Ultimate Spider-Man does it.
It's a little bit, but since he breaks the fourth wall, rather.
Yeah, he is kind of Deadpoolish in that.
Yeah, that's why I like it.
But yeah, like this show, it's dark and it's serious,
and it's a continuous storyline.
It is,
it's an arc. They're complete arcs, which is why when I wasn't joking when I said I think it's the best DC animated show out there.
Absolutely, and so I'm gonna give spoilers right now, minor spoilers. Season 1 ends with a pretty big cliffhanger, or like a pretty big event, and then Season 2 picks up 5 years later. So you're like, holy shit, 5 years. So the founding members of Young Justice are now
their own heroes.
They're senior members, and now the team's expanded to a bunch of new heroes. So Tim Drake, Robin, now in the second season is not now Nightwing.
Hold on. Dick Grayson has become Nightwing.
Oh yes, my bad.
Okay.
Yeah. Dick Grayson is Nightwing now.
Tim Drake
is the new Robin. There was a Jason Todd in that time period in between, but they don't show him. But he's dead because he's like in the Hall of like fallen sidekicks.
Yeah, there's like the Hall of Heroes or something like that.
Yeah.
When they have characters who have died, and it shows them like.
So I mean, it's fucking awesome. And the second season blows the first season out of the water, and the first season was great.
I was gonna say, which is no knock on the first season.
No, not at all. It's like the second season, the Justice League are taken to this planet because they're framed for like this crime, like I don't know, destroying a city or something.
Did you say second season?
In the second season,
yes. Okay.
They did this in the first season, but they were like under the control of a bad guy. So now they're standing trial for it. And then in the meantime, the younger heroes are trying to like take care of the world, but not let the world know that the Justice League is on trial on another planet. So then these other aliens come in, they're like, we're your friends, here's this technology. But it turns out they're totally assholes.
Yeah,
it's like slowly like beginning this invasion.
Yeah, it's a classic storyline.
And there's like even like a Bill O'Reilly character who's voiced by Tim Curry.
Dude,
it's
awesome.
Fucking great. Yeah. It's fucking great. And then again,
I, for one, would love to welcome our alien overlords. Kent Brockman.
So again, this season ends on a even bigger fucking cliffhanger.
Which is crazy because I can't remember it at this point in time. You'll have to remind me after we get off the air.
All right. I won't give spoilers because Aaron needs to watch it.
Not for this because it's that good.
Right.
This is a journey you need to take.
Yeah, it's great. So like season 2 ends on a fucking even bigger cliffhanger than the first season, and Cartoon Network's like, and we're done. And you're like, fuck! Fuck you!
And the reason they killed it was because it was
They weren't selling enough
toys, and it had something to do with girls. Like, what did it have to do with?
It wasn't reaching like the female demographic enough, and girls from 13 to 25 or something like that. And
which, let's be honest, I mean, you're not even gonna reach most. Like, what the hell was that?
Did you just unzip your pants? What was that?
I scraped the laptop across the table. So thanks for calling attention to it.
Let's be honest. What is the demographic of that cartoon? It's, I mean, boys most likely. I mean, now it does have strong female characters.
Sure, they have Batgirl, Wonder Girl, Miss Martian, Artemis.
Mm-hmm. Artemis is great.
All these great female
Zatanna. Well, this is all second season. First season,
true,
mostly had
Miss
Martian and Artemis.
Yeah,
which honestly were just fine. They were great, but they were pandering to boys a little bit more. But when you think superhero in the classic sense, like a WB, Batman, Superman, Justice League show, in the classic sense, you kind of think boys anyway. So I don't understand why.
I feel that's like even like.
Dude,
older generation thinking, because superheroes are so all-inclusive now to this society that like, it doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. You can like a boy can like Wonder Woman and a girl can like Batman. You know what I mean?
Dude, this is coming from me. I've got a 9-year-old daughter who loves Justice League. She'll turn on Netflix and just watch an entire season of Justice League. She knows all the characters and everything like that. She was Batgirl for Halloween a couple of years ago. When she was 3 years old, she went through this phase where she was convinced I was Batman. So whenever we have
you guys never are in the same room together.
Exactly. So I was telling her, I was like, honey, I was like, as much as I would love to be Batman, I'm not. She was like, how do you say that? And I was like, honey, because I have a beard, baby, and Batman doesn't. She was like, you could just take it off. I was like, it doesn't work. She was like, but Batman can do anything. I was like, not take off a beard.
Because I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. Where's Rachel? Where are they?
Batman turned into Shane. Where are all the corals going?
So
it's a great show, and
it's great.
It's been a rumor for it's been canceled for like 2 years.
I'm so happy.
There's been a rumor for a year that it's coming, like it's being picked up by Netflix, and then last week it's official that it's getting at least the third season.
The second season was on cable TV.
Yeah, it was
on Norman Network.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was Cartoon Network.
So this is even better. The fact that it's on Netflix, it means that the shackles are off. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
I don't think they're going to go crazy or anything. I think they're going to keep with the same formula because it's working.
Yes. But what I'm saying is that they can get certain things can get a little darker.
That show got pretty depressing at times for a kid's show.
Yeah, but see now at this point, this is a weird thing because we're in this demographic where shows like that, they can say all they want. Guys our age, we're the ones who watch those fucking shows. If they started re-airing Batman the Animated Series on or throw it on Netflix,
I actually just started that from the beginning again.
It's us. We grew up with it. We love these characters. Kids growing up they're too busy dab dancing
with Pokemon
with the Pokemons and the mannequin challenges or whatever the fuck this stupid
the hell's
thing.
A mannequin challenge?
When everyone freezes and they pan the Snapchat or what the fuck. It's stupid.
I've never seen that.
Oh, good. It's dumb.
Cuba doesn't internet.
He doesn't internet well.
I Facebook. I don't tweet. I don't Snapchat.
It's all over Facebook. Whatever.
Yeah.
You're the oldest young man I've ever known.
Get off my internet
wall.
Yes. Get off my MySpace.
Get off my wall. All right there, Trump. Jesus.
I meant Facebook
Keep it
wall.
out of politics. Oh, okay. I thought you would...
In other DC news, I made sure that we all saw it before we recorded. Yesterday, the trailer for Justice League Dark came out.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Honestly, I've got a love-hate with DC. Now, is like DC movie. Is this a film? Like a full length? Because there was a point with Flashpoint Paradox and a couple others where the animation was beautiful. It was great. It was a little anime-ish.
See, I haven't seen the Flashpoint Paradox
I'll let
one
you
yet.
borrow it. It's good.
It's on Netflix.
Oh, okay. Well, everything's fluid and good, and the shading is great. The art is well done. The eyes got a little anime-ish in a sense.
Well, the Son of Batman, that was like hardcore anime, and that took me out of it. I'm like, Batman shouldn't be anime.
But here's the thing: is that I feel like the art has slowly been going down. Like, I was not impressed with any of the art that I saw when you played that trailer.
Oh, I've seen the other DC movies in this particular timeline.
Yeah.
Justice League War and
Justice League War was okay.
there's one other one that was Justice League War was a prequel to this one, and I forgot what the other one was. They're the same animation.
Yeah, I know, but even Justice League War looked okay. It looked better. You know, are you talking about Apocalypse?
Yeah.
Oh, was that the one that Justice League Apocalypse?
Well, it's called War. But
No, there was Justice League War, but then you were talking about
no,
ones that happened in the series.
Yeah. There's no like definitive timeline except for like 3 or 4 movies actually take place in like the same timeline, and then all the other ones are just independent stories.
Convoluted as hell. But usually the way I look at it is there's a certain shape to Batman's cowl. Like when you look at it in this trailer, and he carries that over the certain like war.
I just don't like his little chin strap.
Yeah, like the little chin protector.
Yeah,
well, you know, it's the button, so he doesn't get knocked out.
What, you hit was he a putty?
No, you gotta. No, you gotta protect the chin. Tuck your chin. He's a fighter. He knows. No, I don't know. There's just something about the animation. It looks hacky. It doesn't look as fluid as it should. I don't know if it's
Jackie
just
Chan Adventures.
You know, that's a really good way to fucking put it.
I didn't mind Jackie Chan Adventures.
No, it was good for like Saturday morning cartoon, but it's not good for like.
It's not a movie. It's yeah, exactly. It is not a DC. The amount of effort that they should be putting into this should be way more than Jackie Chan Adventures.
I will say that the DC movies, animated movies, are way better than any Marvel animated movie.
Yeah, I watched The Punisher and Black Widow. I can't remember the name. It was like
that's an anime one.
It was really, really anime-ish.
Yeah,
I
didn't see it, but I remember seeing like pictures of it, and I'm like,
I watched it. It wasn't that good.
No, I think the last one I watched was like Hulk vs. Thor and Hulk vs. Wolverine or something like that. It was okay, but I'm like, no big deal.
It's nothing you haven't seen.
Right. I like the DC movies. Like this one looks cool. I like that they're taking like the scum from the bottom of the barrel, like the magic heroes, and like giving them their own like dark movie.
Yeah,
that's cool. I like that they're actually doing like Constantine correctly.
That's cool.
I like that they're bringing Swamp Thing into it. Like that's like wow, you're reaching deep if, for Swamp Thing.
But they are riding the cape of Batman hard. They have to.
Well, yeah,
they have to.
Honestly, like out of the whole Justice League, you don't care about anybody but Batman.
I know. It's just they have to ride his cape into that one because if they made this without Batman, nobody would give a fuck.
Right? Literally. Yeah. They'd be like, so we have this gay British guy, a dead guy that nobody can see except for the gay British guy. We have a guy made of moss and muck.
Which is, he's supposed to be very, very strong, right? Very powerful.
Yeah, like he's got the power of nature, the swamp or something.
Power
like
of grossness.
Yes, the power of stank and reflecting Venus.
Algae.
But, it looks cool. I want to see it. I don't care that it's rated R. Like that was like a big thing. It's like the first rated R DC animated movie. I'm like, I just watched Justice League War a couple days ago. I'm like, they said shit and they stabbed Darkseid in the eyes graphically. Like Kylie was watching that with me. She goes, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, I did not know that he was gonna be gushing blood from his eyeballs when I let you sit here and watch this with me.
When we were walking down through Walmart or Target, one of those stores, we saw this was when Jalen first got into Justice League. and she saw Flashpoint Paradox, the case. She was like, Daddy, look, that's Flash. Can we buy it? And I was like, sure, we'll buy it. And I looked at the back, and it was talked about like a balance and that. And I always make sure I watch things first before she does. I always did. Even like,
I should start that policy.
so I watched that, and it was bad. Like, I think Deathstroke, there was a point where he was on like the hull, like standing on the deck of a ship, and he got a hole blown in his head, and the camera pans out, and you see like you hear a gunshot, and then you see like the distance, and then it pans out, and like you see that the hole was actually blown in fucking his head, and like he falls over. It's just like, holy shit! There's no way my kid can watch this.
On the Justice League War, like at the beginning with Wonder Woman, there's like a little protest, and like the guy's like, she's like, you're protesting against me, and the guy's like, yeah. He's like, well, we don't like you, and you're dressed like a whore. And I'm like, whoa. It's like,
and then she puts the lasso of truth around him.
Yeah.
And she asks him, he's like, "What's your biggest secret?" He's
no,
like,
she's like, what's your problem with me? And he goes, I wear a Wonder Woman costume at night on the weekends, and I feel pretty.
he's like, I feel inadequate about myself.
I'm like, okay, this is a different type of movie than I thought.
Yeah, but good for them, because that's kind of what these animated movies need to do.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
good for them.
I figure unless it's Disney or Pixar, it's if it's animated, it's for adults.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, you watched Star Wars Rebels Season 2.
I did.
Now, I feel like that's worth its own episode.
That is worth its own episode. We're not going to get into that. Just breaking the hour mark right now. That's another day, my friend. Believe me, I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it bad, but not. This is neither the place or the time. But it is the time to speak of.
I didn't mean to excite your tuna can. Sorry,
dude. You did. I got excited. I got it because I'm actually watching it again with Kylie. I started the season over. We're halfway through it. Well, it is the time to talk about Ghost in the Shell. You see the trailer for that?
I've never seen Ghost in the Shell back in the day. I was never a fan of the, was that early 90s, mid 90s?
The manga came out like
late 80s.
Late 80s, early 90s, but I never read the manga. I watched the first movie, which was like 95, 96.
See,
oh my god, like Ghost in the Shell is like the staple of middle school teenage angst, like that, and
it really is. It is like it holds a special place in my heart because it was the first anime that I watched that was like a serious anime. Mm-hmm. All the other ones are like Gundam Wing and Voltron. They were just kiddie anime.
I'm very late into the anime game. I never got into it. I remember Aaron wearing those button-up shirts that had
the Dragon Ball ones,
Dragon Ball Z characters going all Saiyan and shit on them, and I never got into it. I never.
Ghost in the Shell introduced me to serious anime, and it was also the first time I ever saw like nudity in anime. Like that was the first time I ever saw animated titties, and I was like, "Whoa, cartoons can be naked."
I mean, I remember people talking about Akira.
I saw Akira after Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell. Aaron just said Ninja Scrolls or Ninja Scroll. I remember Evangelion, Neon Genesis Evangelion, or whatever it was. I think that's the first serious one I tried to watch, and it was just too convoluted and complicated for me at the time.
That series is pretty. I never got into that series. That's deep. I was into Gundam, and I'm like, Gundam's deep. I can't get into this one.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, but I have been trying. Like I watched this one called Asian, or Ajin, AJIN.
I don't know that one.
Asian. I think it's Asian, but Asian sounds like you're just trying to make fun of it. Like, these Asians, they're goddamn Asian animes. No, Asian, we'll say. And it was really good. It was called Asian Demi-Human. I would give it a shot, There's always what's the one with the Attack on Titan?
Oh, yeah, that's a fucking great one.
Attack on Titan, I think, is the first one I got kind of serious about watching it all the way through.
Oh, shit, dude. That's like new.
I know. I told you, I'm way late to the game. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember watching, like, Pokemon, and I think my little sister at the time was into, it was a lot like Pokemon. I can't remember. It was a girl, and she caught him in, like, playing cards, like these monsters.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, not that one. It was a girl. I remember Yu-Gi-Oh! Had, like, the stupid hair. It was a girl, and she flew around on a broomstick. Aaron, help me out. I know you know what I'm talking about, man.
Like, was it Kiko's Delivery Service or something? It was a movie.
No, it was a show, and she had to.
I don't know what the
this
fuck.
is gonna
You're
bug
making
shit
it
out
up.
of me.
You're
I
making
swear to
it-
God, no.
you're making this shit
She
up.
wore like it looked like a maid costume. She was
Yeah,
a
that was
young
a
girl.
movie. That was a movie.
It was a show because it came on after Pokemon did.
Oh, man.
And she flew around on like a broomstick or like a cane or something like that. And she had to like cast spells to catch these monster things. They were like spirits. And she would catch them in these cars. And then she could recall them later, kind of like Pokemon,
This
to
is
use
involved
them.
a wizard slave?
No, this is a child's show.
That's never stopped anime.
That's a very good point. I'm gonna look it up.
Either way, this trailer for the live action looks amazing. Like way better than I
It
thought
looks. Oh my god! Like, did you see? Go on YouTube and look up like the side by side comparison of this and like the anime. Like, it takes like the series and the movie and compares it with the live action movie. It's like, wow, there was like controversy, like when this was announced because Scarlett Johansson. It was more of like the whitewashing of like
Asian culture.
of Hollywood, yeah. And it's like, I understand that with certain movies, but I mean that you get into muddy ground when it comes to anime because most animes, the main characters aren't Asian.
Yeah.
Like they're usually like, yeah, they're usually Western based characters, and when there is an Asian character in an anime, you can tell that they're an Asian character.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
hello, Brock from Pokemon. You know, tell me he's not supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, so I know. Ghost in the Shell takes place in a futuristic Japan, like 21st century Japan, but I never had the impression that the main character, what's her name, like Koto or something like that. Like, I never got the impression that she had to be Japanese. I know I'm sound like an asshole despite the name being Japanese, but it is a Japanese series, so obviously they're gonna have Japanese names. I mean, how many animes have the like? It's like, hello, my name is Bob.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, even a lot of anime creators say like, oh, you know, my character is ambiguous. They're not necessarily Asian. They're not necessarily Western. So
Yeah.
I had no problem with Scarlett Johansson. I actually think she's a really good actress. She,
Yeah, she's.
I don't think I've ever seen anything that where I'm like, she sucks in. You know, it's like I watch a movie and go, she didn't do good in that. You know, maybe she wasn't in a good movie, but her herself, I always think does a good job. So, but I reserved my judgment on this movie until this trailer came out. I heard it. I'm like, that's a tough one to tackle. I think making any anime live action is hard to do, as we saw with fucking Dragon Ball Evolution.
Or Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes, Avatar.
Which I consider that to be, although it's a cartoon, I mean...
It's Korean, so
It's
I don't know
in
if
a
that's
weird gray spot.
considered anime, but
I think, honestly...
I never considered it anime.
To
It was
me,
also
it's like
directed by Filoni. So
M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong.
Honestly-
The anime was.
To me, this is coming from a guy who's not experienced with anime at all, but when you look at a female in a cartoon and you see her eyes, if she's got those giant anime style eyes, to me that's like, okay, I lump that into an anime. You know.
Yeah,
And by the
I-
way, that show I was talking about, just so you know, I wasn't bullshitting. Card Captor Sakura.
Let me see a picture. Let me see it, because that doesn't sound familiar. Not that I'm an expert.
Well, this is
but
the thing. Oh,
it does not sound familiar whatsoever. Come on, son, Google image. What the hell am I looking at?
See, look, she wrote. See,
It looks like a fucking rainbow threw up.
See, she. Yeah, see, she had like it's a cane or a wand of some sort.
What is that little flying teddy bear?
I don't know, but he's cool. Dude, tell me you wouldn't want to have one of those.
I don't want one of those. It's got no eyeballs.
He's got eyeballs, I think. The dots.
Maybe.
Eyeless. All right, that made it creepy. Eyeless angel bear thing.
But
flying.
this Ghost in the Shell movie, they fucking hit it out of the park. I mean, visually. We'll see how the movie actually is when it comes out, but I want to see it. I want to see it in theaters.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll even go see it in Aaron's 4D smell-o-vision.
Ew. Isn't it like all post-apocalyptic? Not post-apocalyptic, like dirty.
No, it's what's the genre called? Like Robopunk or like Cyberpunk, yeah. Which is cool because like that was what Batman Begins was. Batman Begins was like an American version of anime cyberpunk.
Dude, probably one of the best intro song like music for a
Oh
cartoon.
yeah, definitely.
I fucking loved it.
I was about to like try to do it, but I can't.
Did you watch the first 2 minutes on IGN of Ghost in the Shell?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they put the first 2 minutes on. It's the intro to the Ghost in the Shell cartoon, but done live action, and they even have like
the standalone complex.
No, the Ghost in the Shell movie. It's that intro where like she's being made, like the robot shit's all being put together, and
and like she goes through like the goo thing, and like gets a body,
and you see it like all come off like feathers. They do it identical. They even have the song that goes. Like
dude, that's
done,
care. That's care right
amazing.
There. See, that's what I like. That's what I like to see when somebody takes a property. They might get a lot of shit for it, but then like they go through painstaking lengths to just make it legit, to make it authentic. It's like, look, we know we're taking this thing that you love, that has a big fan base, and this is us trying to show you that we care about it, that we're not gonna shit on it.
Yeah, we're gonna do it justice. We're gonna make what you want to see, not just our vision of what you want to see. There's a fine line for directors and creators where we already have, like, you've seen Ghost in the Shell. You've probably read the manga, and
I actually haven't, but
oh, okay, let's just say you have, and you've seen an older movie of it. You know what it's supposed to be like. You know what it's supposed to fucking be. When someone else comes along and just wants to put their fucking jizz in the soup on that one.
Roy, you're just giving me so many names today.
When they want to put their fucking jizz in the soup, it ruins it. You know?
I don't even know what episodes I can use this one on.
Well, just put it in the bank.
Well, either way. I have to go, guys. Time's up for me.
All right. This episode had so many setbacks to it, but
look, we're just trying to get content out there for you guys. We're doing the best we can, and I think we did pretty good with what the hell we had.
We're running smooth now.
I know. Look at that fucking thing. I haven't seen it move that fast. Whoa!
Hey, he's knocking over the laptop.
My hand didn't even touch it. Your leg knocked over the towel. Giggity. Look at that thing. It's fucking running.
Aaron, where can the folks find us?
Facebook.com/Modern Retrocast, on iTunes and Stitcher for Modern Retrocast. That's all I remember.
Hey, it's more than what
you don't remember our website?
Nah, modernretrocast.com.
Yeah, there you go. And if you go to modernretrocast.com, it has links to our Facebook, our Twitter, our now YouTube page, RSS feed, direct email, and our Stitcher and iTunes accounts. So it's
a hub,
all encompassing right there.
It's a hub.
You can listen to the newest episode on the main page. You can listen to it archives on the second page, and you can leave comments on either page. So I encourage you to go there. I encourage you to subscribe to us, and if you like us, subscribe, tell your friends, and just give us some words of encouragement. If you don't like us, tell us why we suck. We need to hear that. It's very important. It's actually more important for you to tell us why you don't like us than to tell us why you do like us.
And I'm going to take a step past that. I'm actually going to encourage what you just said. I want them to purposefully write us emails or comments on... insult me. Insult us. Offend us. Be mean. I want to see if you guys can do it. I want to see... You know what I mean? Write something.
The challenge hath been senteth.
Ooh, the gauntlet is down.
Ooh.
Good night, everyone.
All right, see you guys later.
Motherfucking wizards never die.
Yeah, you know who we are. Hey, we back. Motherfucker 2008.
Motherfucking wizards never die. Puffing on that wizard weed all day, all night. Stay hide. That's why wizards ain't gon' die.
Just try and step up to this wizard. Oh, you ain't heard? Don't fuck with this wizard. I'm a force to be reckoned with. Motherfucker, bow down, you should second this. I'm bulletproof. Step up to me, take aim and cock it. Pull the trigger, now watch, I just smile and block it. What the fuck can you do to kill me? Ha! I got my spells to heal me. Go ahead, roll up with your gats a blast in. I blast back and kill while the joint's still passing. I'm from the streets, bitch, you know where I've been. Always sipping potion with that juice and gin. I'm out, motherfucker, it's time to fly. Because
motherfucking wizards never die.
we don't die, we don't die.